What a disaster. I completely understand now why deacons at Woke United Methodist have been hiding Cam Harris. Rarely do I understand anything the deacons are doing, the decisions they're making. I mean, these are the same deacons that believe people with beards need unlimited access to Planned Parenthood. But when it comes to hiding Cam Harris from the media, I get it. It's a liability every time cackling Cam is behind the microphone and she doesn't have the assistance of a teleprompter. Our former fearless leader, Johnny B. Biden, he was an embarrassment when he was in public, but at least Johnny B. had an excuse. He was literally aging before our eyes. Every time John Biden appeared in public, seemed like he was premiering a new wrinkle. Johnny B., he doesn't count stars when trying to go to sleep. He counts remaining hairs. So I can have a little bit of sympathy for John Biden because a lot of his incompetence, it had to do with his age. What is the excuse for Cam Harris? Cam Harris is not old. She's in her 50s. According to Donnie Lemon, that means cackling Cam is past her prime, but I think Cam Harris looks great for her age. If this election was a beauty contest, Cam Harris, clear winner. But we're talking about electing the leader of the free world. This election, it's not about beauty, it's about competence, which is an area where Cam Harris is completely overmatched. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. For weeks now, I have been telling you guys that Cam Harris, her campaign, it's an illusion. Earlier this month, it seemed like we were being bombarded on a daily basis with the media praising these supposed record-breaking crowds that Cam Harris was drawing. This woman is incredible! I haven't seen this many people in Butte, Montana since the cows were producing golden milk. Yeah, I wouldn't drink that milk. But coming out of every weekend, the mainstream media, they were bragging about these dynamic crowds that were worshiping at the stilettos of their Lord and risen Queen. They were claiming that Cam Harris was packing arenas in Phoenix. Now, of course, the media, they conveniently failed to mention that the entire upper bowl, completely empty. They claimed that she was packing arenas in Atlanta, but again, they failed to mention that most people came to see a free concert with some female rapper who chooses to identify as a stallion. As soon as Meg and her supersized stallion finished performing, if you call that a performance, but as soon as the stallion finished and it was Cam's turn to fail to entertain the crowd, people were rushing towards the exits. Several times, we have talked about the possibility of Cam Harris paying for support. I showed you guys that job application that Kim Kardashian was sending to Hollywood celebrities and social media influencers, offering them thousands of dollars for their support. In the midst of all this media propaganda, I've been telling you guys it ain't real. This sudden support for Cam Harris, who was the least popular candidate in the Democratic primaries, who was the least popular vice president in recent memory or possibly ever, I've been telling you guys not to bite into that shit sandwich. I just found it hard to believe that someone as disliked as Cam Harris suddenly became a celebrity overnight, and she managed to do it without the assistance of Twista and Kanye West. I didn't believe it then, I damn sure don't believe it now. Because over the weekend, we were given further proof that Cam Harris is once again paying for support. Cam was in Pennsylvania this weekend trying to entertain the handful of people that bothered to show up to her event. At some point, the campaign was making a stop at a local restaurant. Now, normally, politicians, they will stop at restaurants and they'll talk to whoever's eating there. Not Hollywood Harris. No! You see, this particular restaurant, it contained Trump supporters. Obviously, before Cam entered the premises, they had to eradicate the fungus. There was just one problem with that plan. Since most of the restaurant was filled with Trump supporters, there was no one left inside to make it appear that Cam packed the house. But that's okay. That's okay. They just so happened to have aspiring actors down the street who were ready for their Hollywood debut. Watch for yourself.
You are terrible people.
Tell us again, what happened at Primanti Brothers?
They kicked us out of Primanti Brothers so that they could get the paid actors inside.
Ridiculous.
Yes.
So there's all the paid actors.
Look at all these people. My God.
Holy hell. All these actors in these vans.
After Cam had lunch with her supporters, she made her way to the climate-friendly jet, which is rather confusing when you think about it. Correct me if I'm wrong here. I thought Cam was deeply concerned about the environment. I thought she was a firm believer in global warming, which they are now calling climate change because winter keeps happening. I thought Cam was committed to clean energy. With that being the case, I am incredibly confused with her preferred method of transportation. Even though this jet might be climate friendly, I have yet to see an airplane that operated without fossil fuels. With Cam being obsessed with electric school buses, I figured she would be riding the cheese wagon from Pennsylvania to Chicago. But anyway, they drive past the bus depot waving to the WNBA dump divers who are waiting for the Greyhound, and Cam makes her way to the airport. As she steps out of the SUV, which also operates on dangerous gas, Cam is walking towards the plane. She's crying along the way, thinking about the dangerous fumes that will be in the air as she is making her way to Chicago. On the way to the plane, Cam is startled as she notices a crowd of people from the media. Now, as you guys know, Cam is not used to crowds like this. There were 30, maybe even 40 members of the mainstream media there, which is the largest crowd that Cam Harris has talked to without the assistance of a teleprompter. Someone from the media asked Cam Harris about her economic policy that was released last week, which is also known as the Great Disaster. Oh, you people complaining about the price of groceries, don't you worry, Cam has the solution. I am putting price controls on all food products. That way, grocery stores will go out of business and you will no longer have prices to complain about. Cam, won't people complain about being hungry? Not for long. Whoever this was from the media, they asked Cam how she planned on paying for her ridiculously expensive economic plan. This is always a tricky question, especially for politicians who have no experience in the real world. Politicians like Cam Harris, who have never created a single job, who have never had to be fiscally responsible, they don't seem to understand that their utopian policies cost money. Now, of course, they are never the ones who pay for it. We end up paying for it through inflation. That sounds eerily similar to what's happened in the last 3 years. Cam, though, she is asked where the money is coming from for her utopian policies. Pay very close attention to Timmy Walls in the background. Watch for yourself.
You just look at it in terms of what we are talking about, for example, around children and the child tax credit and extending the EITC. It's at $6,000 for the first year of a child's life. The return on that investment in terms of what that will do and what it will pay for will be tremendous. We've seen it when we did it in the first year of our administration. We reduced child poverty by over 50%. So that's a lot of the work. And then what we're doing in terms of the tax credits, we know that there's a great return on that investment. And when we increase home ownership in America, what that means in terms of increasing the tax base, not to mention property tax base, what that does to fund schools, again, return on investment. I think it's a mistake for any person who talks about public policy to not critically evaluate how you measure the return on investment.
What? What? Excuse me? What the hell was that? I mean, I heard the words, I understood the language, but I have absolutely no idea what the hell she just said. Did you see Timmy Walls in the background? He knew this was a disaster. He was looking down, counting the threads in his shoelaces. His poor wife, she looked like she didn't know what the hell was going on. There was one positive, though. There was one positive with this limited response from Cam Harris. I noticed that Cam didn't burst out laughing like the rest of us did in the middle of her response. Normally, when Cam doesn't know the answer to a question, she just starts laughing uncontrollably. Return on investment. I meant investment on return. Oh wait, that's not right either. What investment is she talking about? Since when has the federal government invested in anything that actually turned a profit? That polished turd called the post office, it's been losing money for decades. You put a letter in the mailbox, it takes 6 weeks for it to get delivered across the street. I believe Cam was talking about the earned income tax credit. I don't know too much about it because, like every other government program, I'm not qualified to receive it, nor do I want to receive it. The government can keep their money. I just want them to leave me the hell alone. But she mentioned something about $6,000 in tax credits. According to Cam, that's an investment. Investment in what? 6,000 into 365, that equals about $16 a day. Cam's gonna save you $16 a day. Make sure to invest wisely. Another thing I noticed in that response was Cam Harris talking about affordable housing. There are millions of Americans right now wondering where this affordable housing is. There used to be affordable housing. Matter of fact, there was affordable housing in most cities until 2021. What happened in 2021? Oh, Johnny B. Biden and Cam Harris started running the country. It is amazing how much more expensive everything got as soon as Johnny and Cammy took office. And now you expect me to believe that once she becomes president, she's going to magically come up with a solution? You expect me to believe that Cam Harris is going to come up with a solution to the problem that she helped create? This is why they have been hiding Cam from the media. The only reason she agreed to take questions yesterday, her pretend friends in the mainstream media, they have started to apply pressure. The honeymoon is over. The turd losing its polish. The illusion is starting to be exposed. The DNC is this week, and the time is now for Cam Harris to perform. Is she ready? You tell me, is Cam Harris ready for prime time? The debates, they're next month. The media applying pressure, demanding that Cam Harris sit down for a one-on-one interview. The illusion, I feel, is starting to collapse. Polls are starting to turn in Trump's favor. Is Cam Harris capable of performing? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. Appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.